Look at the view. It's actually gorgeous. I'm not gonna lie. Wait. Like, excuse me? Look at how pretty that is. Okay, anyways. Hey everybody, my name is Bree and I am currently on my roof and I wanted to give y'all 5 tips that will help you leave your hometown and move to a new city. The first one is I would say pray about it. When I moved, I literally had no plan. I just knew that I wanted to move. I currently live in LA and I wanted to live in LA since I was younger, since I visited with my family. Just remember it was a tough decision because I couldn't figure out how I was gonna financially make it work. I knew that LA was expensive, but I didn't think it was as expensive as it really is. I was probably a college student when I was really thinking about, okay, what are my next steps, what I want to do. I was working as a manager at Hollister, I think, or I was working somewhere call centery, the call center department of some random company. That's besides the point. But I just know that I was going through a breakup and I just knew that I needed to get away. If I could go back and just look at my mental state, I was probably depressed. I was just in a really tough spot. I didn't know what to do. I was down. I was sleeping all the time. I was working all the time. I wasn't eating healthily. I was seeing a lot of family and friends. I'm from Chicago, so I didn't see any point in being in Chicago. Now, did I pray and fast about it? No. I wish that I would have, though. But if I had have, then I might have been a little bit more prepared when I left, financially. I would advise anyone before you move, pray about it. Pray, fast, do whatever you gotta do. Consult with the Lord because He will set you free and He will literally guide you on the path that's for you. I mean, even if you don't, which I didn't, I do believe that life is like GPS. You could take one wrong turn and you will be rerouted, no problem. I do feel like that's how it works with God too. You delay your destination in a way when you do skip that step, so I highly recommend consulting with the Lord first and foremost. Second thing I would say is call someone you know. It just helps moving to a city when you know someone. When I decided to move to LA, I knew one person, and my dad had been telling me to reach out to this one person for years, and I just was being stubborn because I didn't really know her. He was I knew her, I had been around her, but I didn't consider this person to be a close friend or anything. It was more like a family friend through way of my dad. When it got to a point where I was okay, I gotta get out of here, I gotta move, that's when I finally called her, had a conversation, and was blessed enough where in my circumstances I kind of shared with her. I was just very vulnerable with where I was in life and how I wanted to be in LA, and she was so kind enough to offer and open up her home to me, and for that I am forever grateful. Her home was very comfortable, very clean, very central, so it all felt pretty divine in the moment, even though I don't believe I consulted with the Lord first. I still felt like God knew my desires and He kind of gave me confirmation in other ways. So we literally had one conversation, and after all these years of my dad being call her, and I finally did, and the rest was history. You don't have to know a bunch of people, but when you know at least one person, it just kind of makes the landing a little bit smoother, especially if you're moving to a big city like New York or LA. But even if you don't, I still believe that you can still kind of find your way. It's just nice to have some type of support system in any phase of life, including moving to a completely new city where you don't know anyone. So that would be number 2. Number 3, have a job lined up. I had a job lined up, which I got through this family friend, again, really looked out for me. But I had a job lined up before I got here, and I believe that's another thing that made my transition a little bit smoother. I just feel like that's kind of a given. Now, granted, I know people move to new cities all the time without having some type of job lined up, but I think that was one of my biggest things when moving and when deciding like when was the perfect time to move, figuring out what that job situation would even look like. And since I was 2 years shy from graduating college, I still, I had never had my first like big girl job for real. So I just remember it being pretty hard to find a job in general. Having someone plug me with a job was a blessing in itself. So I would say definitely, if you can, try to have some type of job lined up. I promise you it'll make your life like 20 times easier, especially moving to a big city like New York or LA. And I keep saying that because, like, y'all know it's 2025. LA is ridiculously expensive. Have a job lined up. If that's something that you feel like you can't do until you're like actually in the space, then do what you gotta do. But I believe that having that job and that financial security definitely makes a huge difference. Finding a job is like finding a needle in a haystack these days, but there's no reason why you shouldn't be able to find a job without being in the physical location. So I would definitely find a job before you move. Number 4, have a home lined up. Now this one for me, it looked a little different, and like I said, it was a little bit more divine. The family friend that I spoke to for the first time, she opened up her home to me. She offered for me to stay there for about 6 months, and I did. That was like a pretty rare instance, but I know other people that have moved here that have literally just came and visited and just apartment hunted. I know a lot of people that have apartment hunted remotely, which I feel like is an option. I guess I can take my hat off. Sorry, y'all. Okay, I took my hat off because my hair is dirty AF. There are different ways to like secure a home before you actually live in the area that you want to secure the home in. However, if I could offer any kind of advice, it would be to visit the place that you're going to and go house hunting yourself. Where you live will be the foundation of so many things in your physical, your mental, your spiritual well-being. It is so important to live somewhere where you feel safe, it's reliable, where it's comfortable for you, maybe close to your job. Like all these different factors really make a huge difference. So if I can press it enough, like environment is so key. Like especially if you're moving from a place where you don't necessarily love your environment, why would you move to a place, a brand new place that isn't conducive to just the things that you're trying to create for yourself? So make a list of your non-negotiables, and it doesn't have to be long. It could literally be like 1 to 3 things, but make some type of a list of the things that you need in your new space, and that can be your baseline. This is the first video I've done like this, so bear with me. It's just better all around when you have somewhere lined up for you to live. Or you can do something like me where you stay with a friend or stay with someone that you trust for a while you're searching for your new home. But number 5, book the flight. Just book the flight. Like, book the flight. Like once you talk to God about it, once you talk to someone you know, if you know someone in that new area, once you have a job lined up, and once you have some type of plan for like your living situation, go ahead and book that flight. It's a one-way flight. It ain't gonna be that expensive. Wait, let's run it back, because traveling is actually a luxury these days. So it might be a little expensive. Also, don't mind me, I have no eyebrows on. I actually have nothing on. I put some lip gloss on because I didn't want to come on here super crusty and dusty. But yes, just book the flight. Like, just take that leap of faith. You got it. Trust in yourself, trust in your judgment, and trust in your gut. If you did everything up until this point, then you are 95% ready to go ahead and take that leap of faith. Just do a check-in with yourself. And if you feel in your gut that, this is the right move for you, then just do it. It's not like you have to stay wherever you're going. You can always go back. It's like the next very obvious step. Another thing is too, whenever you get to that new place, granted, I moved to LA like almost 10 years ago. Whenever you get to that new place, although it'll probably be like a huge culture shock, I do recommend being a little bit more open-minded to making new friends. Obviously not like giving away social security number, but be a little bit open to like making new connections in general. And in order to do that, you do have to care a little bit about yourself, but also just be mindful of what you're sharing, because mostly everyone that you meet will be new. So you do want to use discernment, but I would definitely say be open-minded to making new friends, because I learned this the hard way, but community is going to get you through and through. Community, community, community. I cannot stress this enough. The last thing I would say is to do it scared. For me, I think I was already in a space where I was not really super happy. That feeling of being scared, I didn't even really necessarily feel that. I was more excited than anything. But people asked me that all the time, like, especially if you're moving alone. Fear and just being scared is a normal feeling. I will say that when I got here, was I a little scared? Yes. There were things that like gave me a little bit of anxiety, like, will I like this new job? Will I like this new living situation? Will I like my new roommate? Will I like the people at this job? Will they like me? Like all of these things. And did I make the right decision? Am I gonna miss my friends and family? Oh my gosh, I do miss my friends and family. Like I felt those feelings of fear, and I felt them more so when I got here. If you're moving to a new city and you're feeling those feelings like before you even get to the destination, just know that it's okay and those feelings are normal. Things that helped me to kind of get over those feelings were just like staying connected to the people that I trusted and loved and that cared for me, like friends and family, and then remaining open-minded with like meeting new people and cultivating new connections. Community will be like one of the biggest things. Another thing I did when I moved here is I journaled the whole process. I journaled the whole journey. I've been journaling since I was younger. I believe in journaling so much. I believe that journaling was my therapy, was a form of therapy before I started like talk therapy. And journaling really got me through like my initial days in LA as a newbie, and even as like a vet. Like I'm almost 10 years in this thing and I'm still like cracking open my journal like every day. So get you a journal, because that's gonna be your safe haven. It could be any kind of journal. I just got a new one from Lena Lifts. Shout out to Lena for inspiring me to finally start making these like self-development, wellness, lifestyle videos. But also too, she created a journal, and that's something that I've always wanted to do and that I plan on doing one day. But she gifted me with one of her very own personalized journals, and I can't wait to get into it because I need a new one. But the type of journal that I've always had was I would just go to TJ Maxx. They have a ton of different options. They're literally like as little as like $3 to maybe not $3 anymore, but like $5 to like no more than like $10, honestly, for a beautiful journal. And I'm gonna have to show y'all what it looks like, but I typically pick out one with like quotes on the bottom or scriptures with nothing in them. And I'll just talk to God in those journals and just kind of start out by talking about how I'm feeling. First and foremost, gratitude. Like no matter what, regardless of how I'm feeling, I always thank him for those feelings, no matter what. Or I just thank him for the day and just like the little things, like the clothes on my back, the food in my tummy, clean water, clean air, I lay the groundwork. And then I get into like how I'm feeling and all of those things. So to be very honest with God, I do believe that that's one of the reasons why I've been able to kind of just like, just cultivate such a strong relationship with him. Granted, my relationship with God is not perfect. However, I do feel like I've been able to cultivate an honest relationship with him. So if I can recommend one thing to kind of like help you get through just like the beginning stages and phases of moving, even like when you first decide that you actually do want to move to a new city, or if that's something that you're like trying to figure out in general, a prayer journal, clock it. definitely the way to go. So that's pretty much it. I'm really excited. I can't believe I just made this video. Like, it has taken me so long to like sit down and actually do this, but I decided that, you know, I've been going through kind of like a career change and just trying to figure out like my next path in life, and I want it to be this. I want to share like the wisdom and the things that I've learned while being on this journey. So I just can't wait to get into this more often, and I can't wait to hear all of the success stories behind everybody that has tuned into my videos and has decided to take the same exact leap of faith that I did years ago. Let me know if y'all like these type of videos, or if you have any questions about like moving to a new city or a new place, and also where you're thinking about moving. I love LA. It took me a long time because it was not easy, like I said, and I'll probably get into that in some other videos. But where are y'all moving to? Definitely feel free to drop any questions or comments or concerns in the comments. And thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you next time. Bye.